Moshpit Passion, for the passion of the music.
Herzlich willkommen hier bei Moshpit Passion auf YouTube. Ich bin der Kajo und wie ihr sehen könnt, ich bin nicht alleine. Ich habe nämlich den lieben Andreas von der Band Deville. Die habt ihr schon das ein oder andere Mal hier bei mir auf dem Kanal gesehen, denn es gibt wieder was Neues. Die Band hat vor kurzem ein neues Album veröffentlicht. Es ist, sagen wir mal, eine Best-of-Zusammenstellung aus den letzten Jahren mit dem einen oder anderen neuen Song, worüber wir auch sprechen werden. Aber hier primär werden wir so über unsere Freundschaft sprechen und wie lange ich die Band kenne, weil ich die Band nun mal liebe. Für mich eine der besten Bands aus Europa, Schweden überhaupt, und würde auch sagen, dass ich jetzt ins Englische umswitche. So Andrea, thank you very much for your time to have you again here at the Moshpit Passion YouTube channel. How are you doing?
Hi, thank you so much for having us once again.
Um,
Yeah, all
yeah.
good in Sweden. How are you?
Fine. Also good weather. Everything is relaxed.
Yeah.
Fall is coming with a lot of shows.
Still here. Yeah, nice to hear.
How was your summer, actually?
With the weather or the shows?
The shows, of course.
To make a long story short, we didn't have so much actually. We were waiting for doing festivals abroad, but we didn't get something that much outside Sweden. So we played actually a lot of festivals here and in Denmark as well. And those festivals have been good. It's different to play in Sweden compared to play down in Germany or other countries. It's kind of more like a familiar. Of course, our second home is Germany, and we've done so much things there. But it's a kind of easy to travel down here, and smaller festivals is really like a familiar vibe, and depends, of course, on the size of the festival. But they've been good, and we're glad we did 7 or 8 festivals now. We're doing next week, and we are doing actually a festival outside Bilbao in Basque country.
Wow.
In northern Spain there. So that will be the last festival for this summer. So it's been I must say it has been good. Yeah,
it's good to hear. And what I really like is that let me say the topic of the interview fits also to your new record, which is a best of compilation, you can say, of the last decade.
Yeah.
It's called 20 years anniversary. It's a tape for the diehard collectors fans out there. And 20 years of Deville is pretty interesting because I was thinking about how long do I know Deville? It was 2008 when I was buying a Metal Hammer magazine. I was into stoner rock and I was just looking for the genre stoner rock. I was looking, and then I found Deville and was, oh, nice artwork with the goat on there. It was Come Heavy Sleep.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought the record here at my main record store dealer on CD. I was blown away, and since then I'm a heavy Deville fan. And when I saw you, actually, when you played here in West Germany, it took many, many years. It was in 2013, 2012, 2013, actually. I don't know, at the Düsseldorf Picture.
Yeah, it could be first time in 13, yeah.
It was one of the first shows with Andreas Vulkan.
Yeah, should be, yeah. It must be 13 or 14, yeah. Yeah, 14. It was just when we released, 13 should be right, yeah.
It's a crazy time period, and during the time, I saw also you were heavily touring, also Spain, Italy, Germany, and it's so good to see that you were still underground, let me say this way, releasing records over the years constantly. And I got the opportunity to play and to tour because it's nothing that is, it's like I said, bands don't have today they're struggling, they don't get always opportunities, and you were always there somehow. And actually, what is your drive to still be around writing records, to constantly do shows and doing tours?
Yeah, first, thank you for the kind words. I think I think you must keep it as a passion. We had many times we talked about trying to make it full time when we had, working with the right people, but taking the step there and live in kind of the uncertainty that you must tour so much that you like live on the road for 75% of the year. I think and not be able to choose every tour that you make also just because it's a business. I think you must on this to no one ever told us what we should play or what we should do, and I think that also is a part of it, that we still like doing it because we feel like we can decide what we want to do and how much we want to tour and what tours we want to do. So I think to keep it to ourselves and make the decisions here and not being that anyone else doing it for us, I think that's a big part of it, and that is also keeping the love for the music, and that's the holy thing that everything comes from, when you write the song and you create a record and you're doing something out of nothing. So keeping it that, and we feel that it's our own. I think that's the source that makes that we can still doing it and love doing it. And have the guys in the band that work on the same level makes it also a lot easier. So naturally there have been a lot of members coming and going, but when you have the same vibe and everyone is like looking at the same direction, it's kind of the same vibe as with other people in the band, if we go aiming for the same goal. So I think that's the holy thing, to keep it as a passion and not see it as a work, and just for the love of music and playing live.
In 20 years, you also played many tours. I don't know, released many records. Do you have a specific time or a record cycle which you really liked? And in case yes, which was it and why?
I think it was between it felt right. I don't know how it turned out, but after we did Come When We Sleep, and then we did Hello Black Sky, and after that we felt like we need to take it to another level. And Marcus, our drummer at the time, the guy, my cousin, I started the band with, the drummer who produced almost all of our records and recorded it. He started to work in the studio out here outside Malmö, and we could use that studio when it wasn't booked. But the problem was that our old record label, they quit the business in 2010, I think. Boswell Records, the Belgian, where you found the CD. They had good distribution back then. But we were looking for a label, and we found Small Stone that were quite active back then, 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And so we had a good plan there, because we when we got back, we toured so much. And it was when we started to tour in Europe as well, and could do longer tours and doing the whole run in all the countries. So we came back and we wanted to do something that take the experience from that and make a record what worked live. What did people like live from what we did? Before, we just did records that we wanted. We didn't know what worked live. So we wanted to do a record that, really, that we could use and play those songs live. So that's how Hydra came to saw the daylight. But so I like so the thing was that we were supposed to maybe release it in our hopes were in 12, maybe, or 11. But when we talked to Smallstone, I said, yeah, but we have so much releases, so we can't do it this year. And we had a ready record. So it became 4 years between Black Sky and Hydra. But in our mind, it was like maybe maximum 3 years, maybe a little more than 2, because the record was ready. But it took so much time. So I like that step we took there from the 2 first records to Hydra, because then we had the experience to know what we wanted to do and put effort on. And since that step there, pretty much every record has been from that perspective, that we wanted to do something that we felt we wanted to try, and maybe try a different direction that were really comfortable with, maybe style wise and everything. So it's been like that since that, actually. So we learned a lot from the touring, and then it took this step. So 2013, and then was actually 15 or 16 for Make It Belong to Us. Yeah,
I remember, I think the release was 2015. That was the
there were
first
2 years between. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it was also, around the release date when you were sleeping at my flat.
Yeah, we were
home.
touring Mustafa, and we played Essen. Thank you for the hospitality. It was really nice.
Oh, you're always welcome. Now I left the space, got my own flat with my wife, and there's much more space than back then in the day.
Nice to hear. Thank you. No, but yeah, exactly. 2015 we did. So it was, but it was since Wilcon joined there. We took another direction. We changed the record company, and they had big visions, for us, and big plans and everything. So we did a couple of records there, and then we, the music business. It turned out that we left there, and we're on a label now that we know their strength or their abilities, but we also have there's, it's also a very convenient position for us. But it's like, it's give and take. They're really good people, but it's not the biggest label. But it's from our view, been around so much, it's really not depending on our success on this kind of level of labels, since we pay for our recordings ourselves and the videos and everything, and they print and they do the marketing, and that has been the deal since the beginning. So it's not like we own the money, have to tour to recoup and everything. It's not on that level. So it's not that different. It's really up to the labels on that level how much they want to succeed with the bands, like that's a personal quality, not about money and how much money they have. So we're really, we're satisfied on this level to be in that kind of label, because the music business, it's like we've been, had some bad contracts, and we have some good contracts, and you live and learn. It's like, yeah.
By the way, do you still, or at least still, own the rights of the first split EP with Serge the Freak?
Yeah, I think it was only released on I don't think we wrote a contract. I don't remember. I must go back and look in archives. I don't know. It's a really good question, but I can't imagine that we don't own the rights for that, because we have the rights, of course. Heavy Psych Records reissued Come Have You Sleep with a re-recording of Rise Above. But I still don't think, I think we have the rights, from the split and the 2 first there. We have the rights to those records. I know Smallstone, they had on the master, and also Fusorama on the later records or so. But on our level, it's no problem, because if they're sold out the records, we can just ask them to print more. It's like a convenient problem. It's not like, it's more the publishing rights that it's important to us, and we have more or less good deals on that. So yeah, it is how it is. Of course, I don't know. On our level, I don't think it matters that much who, of course, it's nice to own the master, but it doesn't really matter for us right now. We will see in the future, when we're old and not doing it how we want to do it. But that can always be solved with money. It's not like that, and it's not on this level. It's not that big deal.
I'm just asking because the split EP is the only record which is not on vinyl, and I was thinking, because of 20 years, and it was the first record that you would maybe reissue it on vinyl someday.
Yeah, the thing is that I don't know about exactly the master tapes. That's the real music there. We also haven't released Halo Black Sky, and actually there was a problem, because I know when we did the Come Heavy Sleep reissue, we had a problem because that hard drive where all that music was, it burned.
No.
Yeah, so we had to make something with the file so it worked for, it's not the best quality, but it worked for, I know it was a big issue back then. It's over 10 years now since we did it. It's 10 years Come Heavy Sleep came out, the reissue on vinyl. So it was so that's the story about that. I think I have everything for the vinyl for Hydra as well, but I think that hard drive is gone where it was.
No, I think if you would ask me, when it comes to underground, which records I can recommend, it is always Hydra from Deville. It's such an amazing, good record. It is representing everything what you ever wrote. Of course, the Pigs record is heavier, of course, but Hydra got so much melodies there, and I really love the song "Stay a Little Bit Longer." Last song on the record. It's not typical for Deville because it's very slow and a lot of melodies. Of course, you have melodies, but it's very soft, and oh God, man, like there's so many good songs out there, man. I'm drifting apart. And
it's fun that you mention Hydra and Pigs, because there are years, and we toured so much. We toured so much before Pigs we got, so we had money, and we spent so much money on that record to make the best sounding record and the biggest production. So there are so many people involved behind, with engineering, and there are strings arrangements, and everything from really professional musicians that Marcus and the other guy that has the studio, they organized, and we really worked with every song there to make it the best one. So that's, looking back, at the catalog, you can notice it, especially on Hydra. It was 2 years in the studio, mixed with 8 different engineers, and it got back to Marcus because it was like a proof, not how it should be done, because no one succeeded. So
I remember that story. Yeah.
We got back, and also with Pigs that we took our time. We had a deadline, but we took our time. And streaming wise, I think Pigs is, if you take the whole album, it's the album that streamed most, because we got more lists. And so of course we have Lava from that is living its own life on Spotify, but but except from that, I think there are more songs from Pigs that reached out when it was released. So yeah, you have what you're saying makes totally sense, because there's a lot of effort behind those records. But the thing is that to make, I must now when you say it, I have to go back in my old extra hard drives back here to check for what formats I have for the split from 2006. That could be a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I guess we can go on for hours and hours about memories and stories, but I want to talk a little bit about the current record, which is the best of. And what I found interesting is there's a cover song of 9 Inch Nails, because I know you're into Audioslave, Royal Blood, Foo Fighters, Mastodon, but industrial metal is something that I didn't know until now. But yeah, what is your connection to the band, and especially why did you decide, why not, for instance, Foo Fighters or Audioslave or Soundgarden?
Yeah, would have been the easy way or the natural pick for us, because it's kind of close to our genre, what we're playing. But the thing is, we talked about doing a cover for many years, and to pick a song, to maybe make it go viral from a whole nother genre, like EDM or something, like take house song that has a riff that you can do on a guitar and try to make something out of it. And some years back we actually to release it like a B-side or something. And we got into this and tried. We were in the rehearsal, and it felt so bad. It was like, we're not gonna pull this off. It's not gonna work. It felt silly, and it was boring, because so much production in this, with sounds and landscapes, and we're just 2 guitars, bass, and drums, and my vocals, and maybe some backing vocals. So we couldn't pull it off at all. So that was like put on ice. But no, it's not gonna happen. And we haven't talked about it before, but then, yes, as the years goes by, it would be fun to try to do. You always start out, playing covers when we, 25 years ago when we started, doing music. But yeah, so anyway, so we got this record now, anniversary, and we thought, okay, we need a single. Trying to make like a heavy, typical Deville song, but also like not a ballad, not that we do ballads, but something that works as stand out as one song that works by itself. And then we wanted something more fun. We thought it's not enough with only one, and we do 2 new songs, and that's not, it doesn't feel right. Okay, cover. Okay, should we do this? Try this again. It was like, okay, and we talked about it, and it was like not the same not looking at in the same way, like we trying to make it viral and that shit. We're not into that really, but you get into that also sometimes, but then you have to like snap out of it. We're not doing that fucking content. It's for the love of the music. And then it was like, okay, so what can we do good and what fits us? And that kind of song like have been stuck, always like a good song in the back, not the most played songs on our parties, or that always comes on after party, but it was like I think it was like I was listening to it, I was working out or something. It was like, I think without too much work, we can pull it off in an okay way. And when it came, I think it was in 2004, with Teeth, the record. It was actually when I was, really young, a teenager. But there were some people, at school that listened to 9 Inch Nails, and I didn't understand it at all because it was too dark, too industrial, too hard to reach. I was more into pop then, and the grunge thing. and then this record came, and it was so much, many hits on it, like, pop songs, but with industrial vibes. So I thought maybe, it was back there somewhere. So, it felt, and we tried, and it was like, yeah, we can probably do this. And it also, it got some attention because Dave Grohl was playing drums on some of the songs on that record. So they had this, we listened to it. There's some really good songs, I think 4 or 5 really, hits in my world on that record. So that's why we tried that one, and we rehearsed it, and we didn't have to put so much work into it. Maybe we should have put in more, but for the time we had, and it felt good. So we decided to take it, and also a major thing is that it should work with my vocals. It should be a song that I can interpret in my way, and also not totally destroy the original. Like, you want also, like, keep it like a tribute to the band, like, because you make it because it's a good song. You don't want to destroy it.
Mm.
So that was the plan, and so we recorded, and we had a really good guy who engineered these 2 songs, produced, and we never worked with him before. So he I think he did a really good job. So that's actually the story behind it. And I think, we took the safe way. Of course, we could have more challenged us, and maybe we can do it when we have more time, but we had a deadline, and we wanted to do this, and make something else that we haven't done before. So of course you can challenge yourself and do a song that is completely different next time, or do another version of a more band that is closer to us genre wise. But so it was like a good solution for us to pick this kind of song, and we did it our way. We rearranged it a little bit, but not too much, so we have, we didn't need to contact the publish with Nine Inch Nails publishing or anything. So that's actually the story behind it. So I think I'm pretty satisfied to being the first time ever doing a cover for 20 years. So yeah, we'll see if we're gonna do it again. But it's been it was the hardest decision. If we make a new record, we put so much effort into our own songs that there's not time to make to a cover, because you want to do that also good. You don't just want to throw it away, and it feels like, what the fuck did you do there? And you put so much effort into your own songs, so it should, it must feel right.
Yeah, definitely. I can totally understand it, and that you take time to write records. And I'm not a big fan when bands releasing every second year a new record, and you can see that there's an increase on the art, you can say.
Yeah.
And what I really like and looking for actually is a tour with the second Thunder Mother band, I guess. You can call it.
Really, yeah, I must say something on that, because it's not the typical combining of genres, because they're playing like this AC/DC hard rock, amazing on what they do, but they're not the same genre as we are. We're far from each other. But the thing is that we were supposed to have another tour, but it didn't work out, business-wise, agencies and that kind of stuff.
I remember that, I guess. You told me last year in fall, that one? You were asking me about a specific band.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so much that was supposed to be happening that didn't turn out. So when we stopped working together, we checked for other opportunities, and we got this, and was like, nah, we can't do this. It's not gonna work. But then we talked about it, and it was like, we worked with this guy that organized before, who takes care of their agent now. He has been our agent many years ago. for Pigs with God's Records. He did a tour in Europe for us. So he knew who we were. And he said, "Yeah, you can do this." And it was like, we talked about it, but it's gonna work. But that's, yeah, but why not? You know, if it's hard rock people going there, not like we're playing 12-minute doom songs. We can do, but we're that wide in our repertoire that we can, you know, adjust. And we're not gonna do it just because we're playing with that band, but we're that wide that there is, you know, a lot of people can probably relate to what we play also. So we took the decision to jump on this tour, and it's going to be really fun because it's quite far, you know, genre-wise, but it's still hard rock, and it's a big genre, and you know, we can be hard to reach in some cases, but in some songs we're not. So it's going to be really interesting, and only time can tell if it was a good idea. But you know, we said we're going to do it, and it's going to be really fun, especially going out there. They're from Sweden also, and you know, it's like, you know, it's going to be fun.
Definitely, I'm looking forward also, and for the viewers out there, the new tape from Deville is out there. Put everything down in the description. Also the tour dates.
Yes.
Please check it out. Come to the shows. Andrea, thank you very much for your time. Again, always a pleasure to see and to meet you, to talk to you also.
Thank you so much, man.
All the best for the next month.
Thank you. Take care. Stay in touch.
Moshpit Passion, you know, for the passion of music.